Check this out. We are behind the scenes, as you can see. Look, we're behind the gates. Look where we're at. Back at the train shop. And look, sitting over there. There's Cinderella.
What we have here, this is our 1938 locomotive. Number 70 was built for the White Pass and Yukon Railroad in Alaska. She's been here since '77. She's been running since '87. She's the second engine. The first one's inside, you'll see it just a little bit. What they're doing here is getting the fire ready for the day. Our train's still hand-fired coal. Just the way it was when it was built. And probably the way it'll be for a long time, hopefully. But I know coal is kind of dirty and nasty, but it's cheaper than oil right now. But guys are actually, what they're doing is changing the fire. We have a fire that burns all night, keep it fired up, and they'll dump all that out and build a fresh fire.
Wow.
So that engine operates at 205 psi. It weighs 125 tons. So it will pull about twice as many train cars as we loaded. Yeah, it's a very powerful engine. But the gauge of the track here is 3 feet. It's what they call narrow gauge. And the standard gauge railroads run through your hometown, they're 4 foot 8.5. The narrow gauge is built for the mountain terrain. They are able to make sharper turns and required less of a right of way to make those turns. So, like the curve, our tightest curve here is 24 degrees. Standard gauge railroad, the tight curve is like 12 degrees. So, and our grade here, 5.5% in a couple places. Anybody knows anything about trains, steep grade on the railroad is considered 1.5%, but here it's 5.5%. It's typical of narrow gauge railroads. Narrow gauges were built all around the mountain areas. Most famous is in Colorado, the Denver Rio Grande, which is now Durango and Silver. So the East Broad Top, the Tweetsie, that ran from Johnson City to Boone, it was narrow gauge. But this is the original ride here. The track was laid in '61, and they opened up with 192, which is inside getting rebuilt. It ran the Rebel Railroad until the mid-60s, and they changed it to Gold Rush Junction, then Silver Dollar City, then Dollywood. So it's also, the engine's also from the White Pass. But it was built 43, well this was 38. So,
I remember Silver Dollar City. Here then.
Do what?
I remember Silver Dollar City.
But this used to be all the maintenance shops in Dollywood. Before it blew up to a big park, mega park. Now we're just a little blip on the radar. We're still one of the more popular rides. We usually end up 8th or 9th in capacity for the year. But everybody can ride the train, where not everybody can ride the roller coaster. Our busiest time is October, November, and December when we have gospel groups here and all that. A lot of the retired folks come and they want to ride the steam train in the Christmas season. But what they're doing right there is they're actually cleaning the ashes out. And here in a little bit they'll start loading some coal in the tenders. So, but that engine right there will boil through around 5,000 gallons of water a day. And it'll burn 3 tons of coal every day. Every day. Every day it's running at least 3 tons, sometimes 4. Depends on how busy. With COVID, our loads are lighter, so the engines are not using as much coal to keep going.
How do you load the coal in?
tractor.
What, you just like shovel it in?
Oh no, tractor has a bucket on the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay.
No,
That's
no.
what I'm trying to imagine.
No,
like,
the coal pile is actually down there.
okay.
Shovel it, hand shovel it in the wind. Yeah, roughly, yeah. There's a little bit bigger.
What was the question? What was the question? I rode a train in Chattanooga. It was read about Chattanooga. You have this thing at 260 degrees.
Yeah, turntable.
Turntable. It's unfolding the train, turn it around, and then you go, and then you hook up from the rear end to go forward again.
Now ours can do, well, we have, basically our track is 2 loops on either end. So you can run this train any direction you want. You know, go through the loops any direction you want. But the lower loop, you go around this way. Used to, they went around this way, and they wanted the engine out front for the pictures, and so it makes it a harder pull getting out of the deep front. They used to, they come all the way around here and got the speed up, and went up right up through there. The upper loop, same. They're getting ready to start cold, so we'll move over here. I'll show you. Kind of shop.
It's fun when the train gets stuck, baby.
Oh, no.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
This is 192. Y'all can see. Everybody can come on in more if you want.
That's where the coal is right there.
That's where the coal goes.
So how long have you been working on this?
About 6 months.
Oh, really? That's all?
Yeah. We start taking it down right before New Year's.
So if you need a part, do you have to have a manufacturer?
We have to have it made. We can either, some of it we can make and some of it we have to outsource.
So how fast you just only started working on it?
The boiler is in very good shape. Every 10 years we have to do a boiler inspection where we strip the boiler down, inspect its thickness and all that, look at deterioration. Well, we did the internal 1 year, then we turned around and did the external this past year. But the reason it's took longer on this one is the locomotive wheels were worn out and we had to have new tires put on it. And
Recap?
literally, yes. The last set was put on in '93, and so we wore them out, and then we had to take them. We sent them up to Strasbourg, and they literally set the wheel on fire, and you take the ring off, and they make a new one and put it on.
It's metal.
It's metal, yeah. Steel.
Steel, okay.
Yeah. These tires should last well into the 2030s, maybe even 2040s.
So what's the temperature of the boiler?
Water temperature of the boiler is 380. So if you know anything about water, water boils at 212. Except under pressure, you raise the boiling temperature. That's where you get your pressure. I don't know. I think this thing holds about 1,500 gallons when it's full.
This one's bigger than the one out there?
It's a optical illusion. This one's bigger. It's longer. And it's taller. But that one's heavy. That one's about 20 tons heavier than this one. Wow. Yeah, and This engine has big drive wheels, 48 inches, where that one has 45. The taller the wheel is, the more speed it's designed to run. This engine is made to get up and go. That one is made to pull these mountains.
Why is that one so much heavier? What it's made out of?
Do what?
Why is that one so much heavier? What it's made out of?
It's just the boiler is 4 inches in diameter thicker. Around
to get more pressure.
the
more
frame,
speed.
the frame is like twice as thick as the drive wheel. One of these drive wheels, the center drive wheel right here, weighs 8,000 pounds.
So is that because it's built for more speed?
What?
Is that because it's built for more speed?
What's your question? Which engine?
Why the curve engine casing?
That one's built to pull. The heavier the engine, that engine's built to pull. Heel. This one was built. This was actually an Army engine. It was built during World War II. They built 700 of them to go overseas, to like Philippines and India and Iraq and Iran. Well, there was a shortage of narrow gauge engines in Alaska, and so the Army had 11 of them shipped to Alaska instead of shipped overseas, and this is the third one. So, you ever heard of Tweetsie Railroad?
Yeah.
They have 190. They have the original one.
Okay.
It's the twin sister to this one.
Oh, wow.
191.
192.
So right there, that's the brake right there.
Yeah.
So each wheel has an individual brake.
Each of the driving wheels.
So that's like each brake.
Well, they're all tied together as one.
You know what? On a brake, it's not like the same series you on a car.
Cast iron.
Cast iron.
Cast iron.
Also weaker metal than steel. Cast iron is a weaker metal than steel.
Right.
And it's porous. Right? Is that what causes it to stop?
It provides friction.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So how often do you have to change the brake?
Shoes last about 2 months.
Is that all?
Yeah. Well, we put a lot of miles. We put just as many uphill miles as downhill miles. So,
Now, are the brakes worked on steam also?
no, they're air powered.
Air powered.
Yeah, the whole machine is independently operated, but it'll produce its own electricity and it'll produce air brake, compressed air.
So the lights in the on the regular train is powered by this.
No, the coaches have batteries. The engine has separate electrical system. We have to do that technically by law, in case the engine was to become separated. The engine has to have its own lighting, independent of the rear train.
I have a question.
Okay,
What's the top speed that can make?
we take probably about 40, 45 miles an hour. Not here though. Here about 15 is about as fast as you want to go. And there's not many places you can do that safely.
What if we challenge you really hard? What if all of us challenge you?
No.
Double
won't do it.
dare?
No.
No?
Too dangerous. No. These things will flip over if you get them too fast. Really fast.
It's a narrow gauge.
Yeah. Well, not just a narrow gauge. I mean, you get one too fast. These machines are not that. So, if it flips over, the motor will even burn. Everybody knows that.
So how long have you been at this?
24 years.
44 years?
24.
Oh, 24. So you were interested in trains a long time ago.
Yes, it was. This one will be out in about a month.
So you have 2 engines then?
Yeah, they have 2 engines.
When this one comes out, when this one goes out, does that one come in?
That will come in for a little while. Then we'll go back into our normal rotation, which is about once a month. This one that one was rebuilt 2 years ago. And we held off doing this one a year. Because basically we didn't want to do it right again. But once this is done, we don't have to do this again for 10 years. Or 8 years. So it's a big job. I mean, tell you, actually, if it wasn't for the COVID, the shutdown, before they furloughed us, we was able to bring the group back in here instead of operating. We put everybody on this engine for about 2 or 3 weeks and brought us to this point, you know, a lot quicker. Because the group in here, we operate and maintain. You know, the conductors are just the ride operators, but the maintenance department actually operates the engine.
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Tim.
That was him.
Huh?
Klondike Katie.
Oh, that's Klondike.
Klondike Katie.
Okay. Yeah. That's Katie.
Who named it?
It was named before it got here. You know. It'll have its name on it this time too, like that one does. So we changed them around a little bit.
I never knew they had names.
Do what?
I'd never known they had names.
They have, about every one of them has a nickname.
Yeah.
Here, the nicknames are more prominent than the numbers. So, for years when I got here, they're like, which one's running? I say 192. Which one's that? And I was like, oh, yeah. But,
What makes the, I don't know what it's called, the thing that makes the tooting sound?
the whistle,
The whistle, thank you. How does that,
it's steam.
it's just steam and it's just, okay.
We have several different whistles that make a different sound. So some are deeper, some are louder, shriller. You know,
So you change it out for like the holidays and,
we change it out once in a while.
okay.
You know.
Is it skill to make it sound a certain way?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. That's all in the individual engineer.
okay.
They have their own unique sound.
Ah, so like back in the day, could like you figure out who was doing the, okay.
Yeah. Most of the people that have worked here for a long time know which one of us is running the engine.
Okay.
The sound of this.
That's cool.
Yeah. But we have like 3 or 4 different whistles we rotate on the engine. So. Y'all got questions? I mean, this is. I can probably answer anything you want to know about it.
Y'all repainting that back there too?
Yes. Yes. We can't paint it unless we have to bring it over here in the light and paint it.
Yeah.
Actually, the driving wheels were just put in Monday, Tuesday. So if you come in here last week, you'd have seen him sitting in the middle of the floor. We spent 2 days putting him up in the engine. So
Y'all got like a hoist up to get them on?
we have a jack, hydraulic jack in the pit.
Okay.
That we take the track out underneath and raise them up in there. Doesn't take long. Usually put one up an hour.
What's the hardest maintenance you've had to do?
The hardest?
Oh, come on.
I don't know, really. The hardest work? Lord, I don't know.
Set the timing on the thing.
Probably the hardest thing was going in that firebox a day or two after the fires went out to inspect it for a leak or something. You know, that's probably the worst part.
Especially if it's possible.
Yeah. Well, the fireboxes are quite roomy inside. Just getting through that hole. You know, I think one of them is 5 by 6. You know, and the other is maybe 8 by 6. There's quite a bit of room in there. Just getting through that 15-inch hole to get in the firebox is the hard part. So,
Have you always had a love for trains?
yes. Yes, I did it. I've done it since I was at Appalachian State. I started working at Tweetsie there. And I stayed there instead of going back to school. But, I enjoyed it. They have a similar operation as far as training. The rest of us do.
We like Tweetsie too.
Tweetsie actually built this originally.
Really.
They originally built, this was their franchise park, and they sold it off in the 60s when they were developing Beach Mountain and all that. Built the Land of Oz and the ski slopes.
We were just at the Land of Oz Friday.
Oh, was it open?
Last Friday. We had a private tour. They're not open yet.
Oh,
They're not able to open yet.
I've been up there one time, but mine wasn't private tour.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't a scheduled tour at all.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I knew somebody.
Oh.
So we went up there in the summer day and walked the Land of Oz.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I never got to go to it as a kid.
I went to it as a kid. It was super freaky scary.
That's
Trees
what
moving, man. That was
That's what I heard. But I think it's neat. I keep wanting to go over there. But living over here, I don't hear about when they're open. So
Yeah.
don't. But
Who gets the joy of shoveling the coal?
firemen. And you have to fire for 1 year before you get to learn to run. And to learn to run takes about 3 years. You know, and so like a lot of the other rides here, there's 2 divisions that control the rides. There's a maintenance side and there's a traction side, operations. If you go ride a roller coaster or other ride, what you're seeing is the frontline host is the operations host that's operating the ride, and there's a maintenance man or 2 hanging down the floor below. You don't see. Yeah. Well, with the train, not like that. The maintenance men are actually running the engine. It's because to operate that engine is so complex that you can't just bring somebody in and throw them up there and operate. There's a lot of responsibility. You know, there's no PLC on that. It's all manual. So the person who's running it has to have complete knowledge, a comfortable knowledge of the operation of the engine. Be ready for anything. Because there's things that happen.
Turn yours off so I can do it.
Brakes might not go on, or you know.
Turn yours off.
When that happens, well, y'all gotta slow down the engine somehow.
Turn
We can. There's ways of doing it without the brake. Just saying, there's all kinds of scenarios that can go
Right, I got you.
wrong.
What's PLC mean?
That's that computer thing they got on there. All the they call it. I don't know exactly what it means, but all the rides have a PLC, but this one. You know, because this is weird 1940s technology. All the rest of the rides are built probably. All the rest of the rides have a computer control system that has those readouts. This thing's completely manual operation. Huh?
What did you say the normal rotation of the engines were?
We try to get it to once a month. You know, sometimes we may, like Christmas, we may pick one of them because we got to put lights on it instead of having to decorate both of them. You know, but usually we run that one at Christmas because it likes the slow speed. But I think this year we're going to run this one for Christmas.
Kings Island actually runs both of their trains for Christmas.
Who?
Kings Island.
Yeah, we don't have enough cars.
Yeah.
What you see is what we got.
Right.
We got 7 cars and that's it. And so we don't. There's times you might see both engines fired up. It's not very long, period.
You said the fire was in there all night. Do you have to fire it at all, or can you put it to bed when you bring it in?
We put a sizable pile of coal in the firebox after the last run, and we fill the boiler up with water, and that coal will burn all night long. The next morning they come in, dump all their ashes, and that pile of coal is the start of your fire the next day. Now, if we're not going to run, if we're going to be closed for multiple days in a row, we let the fire die. And then we'll fire it back up a night or two, the day before or that morning. If it's completely cold, never not been run, you're looking about 8 hours from starting the fire to being able to operate it. So that's one thing that a lot of the people takes the management of the park to understand. 70 goes down, well, you're looking at a half a day for one that could be running. You know, they don't realize that there's a whole process that has to go through to get the engine up and running. And we don't want to keep it. It costs a lot of money just to keep it sitting here steamed up, not running. So, with every day it's fired up, it's a ton of coal. You're just wasting to keep it hot. So
How long on a normal day does it take to get it ready to go?
hour and a half. Hour and a half. Depends on the people. Depends on how good you're managing your time. A couple people get it ready completely in an hour and a half.
How reliable are they?
Huh?
How reliable are they?
We have, each engine has its quirks, but they're pretty reliable. I mean, we had a broke spring on 70 this week. That's the first one we broke in 5 years, so that's, to me, not a big deal.
What broke?
A spring.
Do you have to make some of your own part, or can you find them somewhere?
Certain things we can make here, certain things we have to have made. We can make the bushings for the rods. They're a bronze, a 660 bearing bronze. We can machine them out here and press them in and throw them on, but if it gets into like making that wheel set sitting behind you, pressing it on and all that, no, we can't do that. We have to shop it out. Another shop.
Y'all ever have to get in the bowler?
Oh, yeah.
How do you get in there?
Well, can't see it right now, but steam dome is right behind that post.
Yeah.
And there's a cap up there. And if you're small enough, you can squeeze down around the throttle and get down in there. Last year we had the tubes out of it, and the tube sheets out of it, and I crawled from the front to the rear in it. That's something probably won't ever happen again for a long time. It's pretty impressive though, to be able to cross one into the other. But when she comes out, she's gonna be about brand new. As good a shape as she's been in 10, 12 years. And that one you pay close attention. You'll hear it knocking and clicking and all that. Well, that's 4 years of running hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's our work. That one's our workhorse. You know, so it's going to get a running gear repair this winter. We have to do that about every 4 or 5 years just to keep it.
About how much does that cost?
$56,000. Depends on how much we can do in-house. We try to do as much as we can, but a lot of the stuff we can't do. There's on machines to do.
Yeah.
So,
Did the passenger cars come from here? Do you rebuild them?
the passenger cars were originally coal cars from the East Broad Top Railroad in Pennsylvania. So the cars have always been here. They were a different design in the 60s, 70s, and 80s from what Dollywood has now. But the bottom of the base frame is the same old thing. If you look under them, you can actually see where the chutes were. You can actually see where the coal chutes were underneath the cars. Yeah. So.
With everything you do at this position, what's your favorite thing to do here?
Operate it.
Like
To take them out and operate it. That's the fun part of the whole thing. You know, me as the foreman or the lead, I don't get to go out and run them. much as I used to. I used to run 5 days a week, and now it's 1 day a week, maybe a trip or two here and there.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I enjoy my day on the engine. You know, that's the most enjoyable part. Is actually getting to run it. Now, getting to run this out of the shop brand new, that's gonna be a nice experience. You know, so we're trying to keep her a little bit hidden. I mean, right now ain't nothing. We're trying to keep her a little bit hidden until we're done, because we want to be a little surprise for everybody how good it's going to look and all that. So,
Probably exciting.
yeah. So we're not even going to have it out tested while the park's open. We're probably not going to test it until the park closes on the 10th of August. So we do all the testing and everything with nobody here. Then put it on another week, another few days after that. Everybody will hear about it when it's out, I'm sure. So.
Does the heat surround the tank, or does it just hit from the one end and transfer?
There's you got the fire. The black jacket is around. That's the boiler. Everything you see, it's gloss black, is the boiler. What there is 2-inch insulation under that sheet metal, and then you got the actual riveted barrel boiler. Well, what this is called a fire tube boiler. In the back of the engine, you got the fire box, and you got a tube sheet. And the water surrounds that fire box and the tubes. So the fire goes through those tubes when you're running it. That's where you get your heat. This is called a fire tube boiler. Some of them they have water tube boilers where the water is actually in the tube and the fire surrounds the tube and makes steam. But these have always been fire tube boilers. And believe it or not, the fire will actually go all the way to the front. When it's pulling, the flames will go all the way through the boiler up to the front. Wow. Yeah.
Like if you ride it at night,
You'll see the fire. You'll see the embers coming out. Yeah. You'll see the orange embers popping out of it at night. That's right. I think they're going to have you off for a train ride at 11. So I need to check on them and see how we're making some adjustments to 7 at this point. If y'all want to start making your way to the depot, and they'll be over there at the engine probably in 10 to 12 minutes.
Thank you.
I am not the railroad. What is that in reference to?
That was, I think it was the name of the railroad when this place was. It was the late days of Gold Dust Junction or the early days of Silver Dog. Instead of calling it the Silver Dog City Railroad, they call it the Iron Mountain Railroad. Well, they repainted it a couple of years ago. We tried to get them to change it to Dollywood with it. We fought them on it.
They want to keep this.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, well, why didn't you chunk the paint and everything? We don't iron. Yeah, you're welcome.
So you said this one would be running in.
Can I have this?
All right, got an inside look at the train shop. See, getting Cinderella still ready. We're gonna head over to the depot and get ready to get on and take a ride.
Yeah.
Well, y'all notice something missing here. Train cars are here, but no engine. Cinderella will be here in just a minute. Doing good. How are you this morning?
95. Good to see y'all.
Great job backing up.
Hey, we tried. I promise you it's a lot cooler going up. Oh,